students, welcome again to our English program for Preparatory 3. Today, inshallah, we are having a general revision based on the second half of the curriculum, which includes revision based on units 10, 11, and 12. Okay, today, inshallah, we are discussing the question that found in the exam paper. Let's start with our question, which discusses the dialogue between two persons or more than two persons. Okay, finish the following dialogue. Okay, between whom? A student is talking to the teacher about the solar system. Okay, here a very important word in the dialogue is solar system. This is our topic. Student says, "Nice to meet you, sir." Of course, it's a polite way to address the person who is older than you. We said, "Sir," "Madam," and so on. "Can I ask you a few questions?" Teacher said something. "What questions would you like to ask?" Here we can note that the teacher agreeing to be asked by the student. Student said a question, and the teacher said, "There are 8 planets in the solar system. What else?" Of course, we have the word planets, and plants. Planets means related to the space and the stars and so on, but plants related to the plants or the trees that we grow. Student said a question, and the teacher said, "The sun is not a star. The sun is a star. It's not a planet." Student, "How can we see the stars? It's very far, so how can we reach them or how can we look at them?" The teacher said something. Student said, "Yes, this telescope is a good idea." Okay, the teacher, "You are welcome. You are welcome." So let's start with our answers for this question. Here we start with greeting our teacher. "Nice to meet you, sir. Can I ask you a few questions?" Of course, the teacher will not disagree with him. He said, "Nice to meet you too." He replies for his greeting with "Nice to meet you too." "What questions would you like to ask?" The student said, "How many planets are there in the solar system?" Here we are asking about the number of the planets which are found in the solar system. Why I should use how many? Because in this word there are 8 planets. He answers with a number. بيتكلم عن عدد يا ولاد. So the word is how many. Okay, another question from the student, and the teacher says, "The sun is a star, not a planet." Here the teacher explained that the sun is not considered as a planet. So the question is the sun a star or a planet? Is the sun a star or a planet? The teacher said the sun is a star, not a planet. Another question, how can we see the stars? Of course, they are very far from us. How can we look at them? The teacher gives him a very important note and advises him to use the telescope. By using a telescope, the student agreed with the teacher and said, "Yes, the telescope is a good idea." Of course, he must thank his teacher for giving him some advice, and he said, "Thank you so much. Thank you so much." The teacher replied with, "You are welcome." After that, we have read and complete the text with words from the following list. We have some words that complete the meaning and the sentence in a good way. Here we have do, have passed. Of course, we have passed here, have passed, related to present perfect tense. الزمن اللي شرحناه في الجرامر يا ولاد present perfect tense. Operator, had passed, designer, applied. Had passed is related to past perfect tense. Applied is related to past simple or الماضي البسيط. Here the word, "I'm pleased to tell you some good news." Last month, of course, last is very important word. It expresses the word or the tense which is past simple, as we said before. I space for a new job. Of course, job related to applying for a job. So I applied. It's related to past simple. Yesterday, the secretary told me that space the interview. Of course, yesterday here is related to the past, and we have another tense. عندنا زمانين في الجملة يكون the first one is past perfect or ماضي تام, and the second is past simple. He gave me told past simple, so we must use had past اللي هو الماضي التام. I had passed the interview. I am happy to space the job I prefer. Of course, here to work is something that you love will make you very happy, okay? To do the job that I prefer, do a job. I am going to work as a camera space for a famous TV channel. طبعا يا ولاد عندنا الكولوكيشنز أو المتلازمات اللفظية اللي بتيجي مع بعضها do a job, have an interview, and a camera operator. Camera operator for a famous TV channel. What about your work? I hope you will have more success in your career. Of course, a career means a profession and working and job and so on. Another type of question is choosing. Choose the correct answer from B, C, and D. We have here to be very focused and understand the question very much in order to answer well and correctly. Let's start with our first question. He is a university graduate. Graduate means that he finished his school. The word graduate here means he space his study. Is it liked, continued, started, or finished? As we said, finish his study means to be a graduate. Finished. After that, the doctor advised me to use space for my teeth. Advised me also من الأفعال المهمة جدا. Advised me must be followed by to and infinitive form. Advised me to use, to help, to drink, and so on. The doctor advised me to use space for my teeth. Is it braces, spaces, prices, or even verses? Of course, the word which is related to teeth is braces. Braces to make our teeth very regular and seems look very beautiful and very regular. So we use braces. Okay. The box wasn't small as I expected. So we here have a negative form. Wasn't small. Wasn't small. We have a word that equal to wasn't small. Is it major, noisy, large, or old? Of course, if something is not small, it means it's very large or big. Okay? My teacher told me not to be late again. Not to be late again. Don't do this mistake again. Don't do that again. Means he gave me a space. Promise, or warning, or witness, or even present. Of course, if I ask someone not to do something again, please, Ahmed, keep quiet. Don't talk again. So here I'm giving Ahmed a warning not to do something again. Our teacher taught us how to recycle the old plastic bottles. Recycle means space them. The word recycle is very important for our curriculum and also for our life. We should use recycling objects. The word recycle means join them, or reuse them, or retire, or even collect. Of course, not collect, not retire, not join. It's reuse, to recycle something, to use it again and again, or to reuse it. Okay. The synonym of the word normal is Normal means abnormal, unusual, boring, or even usual. Of course, if something يا ولاد is normal, it's usual. We don't have extra something related to it. It's not extraordinary, it's not abnormal, but it's usual. Normal means usual. Success in life is based on hard work. When we add the suffix ful to the word success, we get an. If I say successful, successful here, is it a noun, a verb, an adjective, or even adverb? When I say he is a successful person, she is a successful girl, this means this is an adjective that we use to give an adjective to something, whether he is a person or a place or anything. Okay, it's an adjective. The antonym, the opposite of the word useless. Here we want the antonym or the opposite of the word useless. Is useful, worthless, valueless, or comfortable. Of course, useless means to have no use. It's not important at all. So the antonym is the word useful. It's a very essential. It's a very important. Okay, the upcoming question is, Mo Salah is an space player. He gets money for playing. Mo Salah is an space player. He gets money for playing. Unhappy, professional, amateur, or lazy. Of course, if I gain money from doing something, it means that I'm professional, I'm very good, I'm talented to do this. So here, Mo Salah is very professional. The antonym of the word professional, الانtonym أو الopposite بتاعها is amateur. Amateur, not professional. Okay? The upcoming question is, space means done without using money you can hold. We sometimes have to have some cash, credit cards, and so on. So if I don't have money, but I have something else to pay for my needs, is it hopeless, aimless, cashless, or homeless? Of course, if I don't have to pay in cash, it's cashless. Cashless. I don't have money in hand, but I have some visas, as I said, or even credit cards. After that, the ability to do something. I have the ability to do something in a good way. I do it perfectly. So, is it internship, apartment, dream, or even skill? Of course, if I am talented or I can do something well, I have a skill to do something. It's a very important word, skill. Okay? The synonym of the word heart. Heart means to damage, to destroy, to do something bad. So, the synonym of the word heart is cure, or damage, or provide, or even sale. Of course, as I said, heart means damage and also means destroy. So, it's a damage. The upcoming question, the prefix space changes the verb appear into the opposite. If I say, he is Ahmed, he appears from here. Ahmed باين من هنا وواضح وهو اللي موجود وإحنا شايفينه. If I want to say, he is not appearing, I want to give the opposite or the antonym. I said, unappear, or or even or even this. Of course, I don't have unappear or appear or appear, but the correct answer is disappear. Disappear, which means to be hidden, to hide. Okay? Protecting the environment is all people's responsibility. The word protecting means, of course, responsibility means it's something that I must do. It's a duty that I must do. The word protecting gives the same meaning as conserving or damaging, designing, or even boasting. Of course, to protect something means to conserve something. Here it's an adjective. Protecting is conserving. Okay? To form the adverb of the word careful, here we want to add the suffix in order to change it an adverb. Of course أول ما نسمع كلمة adverb يا ولاد اللي بيخطر على بالنا ال ly في نهاية الكلمة. If it's regular adverb لو كان زي ما بنقول ظرف أو حال منتظم. We say careful ونضيف عليها ly at the end. So he gives me ion, it's excluded of course. ly, yes, careful, carefully. ity, of course not. Also mint, of course not. We say careful, carefully, happy, happily, and so on. To get the noun of the adjective polite, we add the suffix. If I want to have the noun from the word polite, polite is an adjective. I want to have the noun from polite. Is it full, politeful? I don't think so. Politely, I have just said ly for adverb, not noun. Ly for adverb. So it's excluded also. Ness, maybe. tion, I don't think we say politen. No, it's not politen. It's politeness. Politeness. Yes, politeness is a noun from the adjective polite. Here we have another type of question. Complete the sentence with the correct answer. Here we have some words between brackets and we have to rewrite or to give the correct word or the correct form from these words between brackets. Let's start with the first question. Marwan hasn't finished his homework just. Of course, this is an incorrect word. Just comes in the middle of the word or in the middle of the sentence. But the word that comes at the end in the negative form we have yet, hasn't finished yet, hadn't finished yet, haven't finished yet. This is the correct answer. Before I had returned home, I had bought everything we needed. Here we have the conjunction before. طبعا يا ولاد قلنا دي إحدى الكي ووردز اللي بتدل على زمن الباست بيرفكت أو الماضي تام. Before must be followed by past simple, not past perfect. Past simple, the second form of the verb. We don't use had returned, but we use returned only. Returned. Okay? The second question. Adam came first in the race because he had trained well. Here it's a very noticeable mistake. ما ينفعش أقول had trained but had trained. Trained past participle. Had trained. After that, before his death, the author published his latest collection of the short stories. طبعا يا ولاد عندنا كلمة death وأنا بأكد عليها it's the noun from die. Die, to pass away, يموت means die or pass away. The noun is death, الموت أو passing away. Okay? Of course, before his death, the author, we must use past simple. We use had published. As we say, before his death, he had published. This is the first action. We use past perfect. Had published. We use had published. Okay? Noor said us that she was tired. Of course, this is direct and indirect speech, الكلام المباشر والكلام غير المباشر. Noor said us. Of course, us here is the object. دي مفعول الجملة. So we use told us, not said us. Noor told us that she was tired. The next question is Ali told us that we travel to Alexandria the following week. Here also direct and indirect speech. Ali told us that we travel. Here the following week expresses future, so we use traveled in the past. طبعا احنا عندنا الدايركت سبيتش والاندايركت سبيتش بنخلي كل التنسز او الازمنه بتاعه الجمله بنحولها لزمن الباست اند باست بيرفكت. لو زمن الجمله زي ما كان جاي بين الاقواس او بين البراكتس جاي كلمه travel we use traveled, and if he give me traveled we use had traveled. So travel must be traveled in the past simple. Rasha said that she didn't watch the film the day before. Here, Rasha told us and said to us she didn't watch the film the day before. Of course didn't يا ولاد ما تنفعش، أولا لأن عندي كلمة watched here in the past simple. So if didn't is correct, it must be didn't watch. But here it watched. So hadn't must be deleted and we add hadn't watched. As we said, we transform the sentence into the past. Hadn't watched. The next question is, when I was young, I always talked to my teachers politely. When I was young, it expresses the past simple. I talked. Only the second form of the verb. I talked to my teachers politely. After that, we paint our house alone last week. Okay, last here is a key word of the past simple. We use the second form of the verb. We painted, only painted our house alone last week. He isn't able to join the main team unless he trains hard. Here expresses ability and inability. قدرتي في فعل الشيء وعدم القدرة على فعله. I use he isn't able to join. هل دي correct sentence ولا he won't be able؟ Of course it expresses ability in the future. القدرة الخاصة بزمن الفيوتشر أو المستقبل will be able to, and in negative form it won't be able to. Okay? After that, what will the weather is like tomorrow? Of course here we have will that expresses future. What will the weather be? Of course will comes after it the infinitive form أو صيغة الفعل في المصدر. We use will be, will come, will drink and so on. They won't able to. Of course here we have a missed word. في كلمة مفتقدة المعنى مش كامل بتاع الجملة. They won't able to attend the conference. Attend means to come to the conference or the meeting الاجتماع أو المؤتمر اللي هيحصل this year because of coronavirus disease. They won't, of course, won't be able to. Won't be able to. Won't comes after it be, and after that able to, and the infinitive form is attend. Attend. Okay? In the future, of course, it's related to future tense أو زمن المستقبل. In the future, more people learn. learn دي طبعا يا ولاد مرتبطة بالpresent simple tense أو بزمن المضارع البسيط. Of course, we must say people will learn, and if I am talking about something that won't happen, I say won't learn, won't do, won't come. Here, I want to do something related to the affirmative sentence. شيء هيكون حاصل في زمن المستقبل أو هيقع بالفعل. I say in the future more people will learn online. If I want to say won't, it gives me the negative form. After that, Ali hopes, very, very important word, the word hopes. He will be able to buy that car next year. طبعا احنا عندنا بعض الافعال اللي بيتبعها المصدر زي كلمة hope to والمصدر decide to والمصدر plan to وهكذا. عندنا كلمة he will expresses the future tense، وكمان كلمة بتعبر لي عن الفيوتشر كلمة next المستقبل. Of course will followed by be, not being, without ing. He will be able to buy that car next year. Here we reach our end for this episode. I wish you got benefit from this episode. I want you to study hard. I ask you to reach your goal in a good way. You should organize your time. Thank you so much for being with me today. I was with Dua Saad with you. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you again next episode, inshallah. Thank you so much.